Hey everybody, in this video I wanted to go over some kind of different ways you can use, depending on your wheel, the hooks or the pegs or whatever, not hooks or pegs, yeah, hooks, pegs, or whatever you've got on the side. This one is shown on my spinolution pollywog. So it's got these little open-faced pegs. Let's see if that, there you go. I really want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So this is some beautiful hand-dyed silk I'm working on, and yeah, okay, check your ratio. And I usually, if you've been watching my videos, most of the time, what I do is I spin. I just move kind of from the top, you know, as I'm spinning, we'll move it down this way to fill up the bobbin evenly. And I do, that's a really simple way to do it and how I've done most all of my yarn. And then when I two-ply, you know, I would two-ply it on this side. But one thing I found especially helpful with these smaller bobbins, if you're really trying to fill them up, is at least on this one, and this is the spinolution pollywog, they're kind of staggered. So that one's a little higher than that one, you know. So if you're really trying to fill up your bobbin to get the maximum use out of it without having kind of like grooves in there, I've been, and like I said, I don't know why I hadn't really done it this way before, but I'm actually going to spin with it on this side. Here, so I'll just let this feed in. So I've actually got it there, and I'm just going to let this feed in. Got that on the left side, which I normally don't. So I would spin on that for a while, which feeds it right here way up at the top. And then I would just move to this side. And let me get some of my fiber. This fiber is so pretty. Here it is. Some of this silk, I've been working on this forever, so you may recognize it from other videos. But, and then I would start spinning with it on the left side. So we're going to let that spin for a minute over on the right side. And see, it feeds right in, and that's fine. And then when I want to move it to like really fill it up, I can then move it one peg down over here on the left side and spin that way. So like I said, I haven't been doing that so much just out of laziness with my bigger bobbins, but with this smaller bobbin, if I'm really trying to pack it on there, alternating from the left side to the right side, moving down, and then when I get to this very bottom one, then I would move back up. So that's one thing you can do there. And another technique I've never really done or talked about too much, but I figured it might be worth showing on one of these videos. I don't spin just for myself a lot of super lace weight yarn, but for people who do like to spin lace weight yarn, one popular technique is called cross lacing. And like I said, it's not something I do very often. The idea with cross lacing is you would start out with it, and I'm sure everybody does this a little bit differently, like you would go from the top on one side, bring it down about halfway, cross it over to the other side, and then bring it down the rest of the way. So my yarn goes from the bobbin over here, down here, over here, down here, and out the side. And then, you know, like I said, theoretically, you could then move it once you'd filled up one spot for a while. You could then put it over here, and then bring it down a couple pegs, you know, so you could be continuously adjusting it, but you're just crossing it over. There doesn't, from what I could see, there doesn't seem to be too much, you know, scientific method to it. You're just crossing from one side to the other. The reason you do this is they claim it helps with filling the bobbin up, but it also, you can see it really slows down my the take up on the wheel, which is why I don't do this very often, because I'm usually spinning, you know, thicker yarns, just because that's typically what I'm spinning. So I like, and like, it's also just personal preference, I like a stronger take up myself. But see, this gotten like crazy thin on here. This silk is really slippery and nice to spin, but people like using it this way if you're spinning. This is very popular for if you're trying to just get it as thin as you can possibly get it. I'm trying to still leave it where you can kind of see it on the video. But by slowing down the uptake on the yarn, it's letting the yarn basically stay here where it's getting twist put into it. So the idea is it's making your really thin singles, even though this one is, there it is, that one's really thin. It's making your really thin singles stronger because they're getting more twist in it before it's being pulled onto the bobbin. So if you're somebody that you like spinning thin, or you just find that your singles are kind of coming apart, I'm usually the opposite, but if you are one of those people, then cross-lacing might really be something you like doing, because that lets more twist, just since it has more time here before it gets pulled up. I've got silk stuck on me. There we go. So that is cross-lacing. So then, like I said, I kind of spun it that way for a while. You can then, you know, if I wanted to move it over here and then come down and bring it over here, you know, and then just bring it back under the peg. You know, it works in either place, but if you're somebody that really needs less tension on your fiber when you're spinning it, then cross-lacing may be for you. So that's just a super simple demo, and like I said, I will be adding, I'm working on a color theory and a couple more expansions on our Dream Yarn course that will get added, so I'll have more how-to videos, but I just kind of wanted to show you a real quick, on my free YouTube channel, example of cross-lacing and then alternating sides on your pegs for greater bobbin filling, I guess.